I knew what I wanted. I wanted freedom. It wasn't, I know in the earlier, when we first got on, I was talking about how much I loved money, but it's really not so much the money, it's the options that it brings and the freedom. It's really freedom that I love.
This is Lori here with She Means Business. I'm excited for you guys to tune in today for the launch of our brand new podcast, She Means Business. We're going to do small talk with small companies where we're going to interview other women-owned businesses, other companies that we integrate with, and things of that nature. Today we have Miss Jana Brown here. What do you feel inspired you to be a small business owner or kind of take that path?
Yeah, I mean, that was really it. You know, it was, I knew what I wanted. I wanted freedom. It wasn't, I know in the earlier, when we first got on, I was talking about how much I loved money, but it's really not so much the money, it's the options that it brings and the freedom. It's really freedom that I love, you know, and just being able to call my own shots, you know, and do what I want with my time, and also earn more money than I could, you know, at a regular job. Being that I, you know, barely graduated high school, I'm just not one that ever liked to be in a box or follow a system. I always wanted to do my own thing, and you couldn't tell Jana what to do, you know. So barely graduated high school, you know, and I knew that the traditional way just wasn't in the cards for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I did work a little bit when I was pregnant with my kids, but for the most part, my husband was the sole provider. So I knew that I just did not want to be away from my kids like that. And I knew that I wanted more. I knew I wanted to do more with them, and I needed more than just, you know, an hourly wage, or, you know what I mean? And so owning a business and creating residual income, using the concept of leverage, has provided me enough time freedom to be able to homeschool my children for many, many years. We travel whenever we want to, you know, pay cash for these trips. And I started with $70 in my bank account. Nice. and no college education and no husband. You know what I mean? So I just fully believe that any woman can do this if they truly, truly want to. And for me, it was just knowing what I didn't want.
Right.
I didn't want, to be stuck in an office all day. I didn't want to be told what to do and when to do it. I didn't want any of those things. I didn't want debt. I didn't want restrictions. I just wanted to be free, which is what, you know, money and being an entrepreneur provides to some degree. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. For me, that has been, I think my biggest motivating factor is the freedom and the flexibility to be available to my kids, to wake up early in the morning and do 2 or 3 hours of work, and then go in and be available to my daughter and play with her outside, and then hop back on work and work for a couple of hours. So for me, the freedom has really changed the way that I parent. And I think it is just freeing. I mean, because you can be there. You're not missing events. You're not missing those moments that you simply can't replace. And I think that's really important. And it makes me very passionate about moving forward and developing the brand for Sharp Services. And really why this podcast even exists today is so that I can further that brand, and I can further the reach and availability to other women, and hopefully encourage them if they're thinking about starting a business, or they've got an idea that they're passionate about, but they just aren't willing to leave that 9 to 5 or whatever it is. Find your why, find your motivating factor. And I know I found that in Sharp Services, and there's quite a lot that drives me with that. And even this, the podcast is really finding an identity in my owning a business. Well, this is Lori with Sharp Services, She Means Business podcast. We'll see you next time.